The poetry of Charles Causley seems to have rather slipped out of current interest, sadly. It was, while he was alive, and certainly while I was young in the 60s and 70s, a very well-known poet. It's said that he might have made it as Poet Laureate, but John Betjeman was chosen instead. Causley was not, I don't think he would have ever said he was a great poet, but he was inimitable. And I think once, I remember saying this many years ago again, to a class of children when they were 10 years old, that the way to recognise a poet is to know their individual voice. And if they don't have that individual voice, then they will fade. And Causley absolutely had that individuality. He wrote in an easy ballad form. Had he not been drafted into the Navy in the Second World War, he might never have written at all. But somehow the nearness of death, his closest friend was killed and he survived, gave his work an edge, and he was always able to write in this very startling, dramatic and lyrical way. King's College Chapel. When to the music of bird or tallis, the ruffed boys singing in the blackened stalls, the candles lighting the small bones on their faces, the Tudors stiff in marble on the walls, there comes to evensong Elizabeth or Henry, rich with brocade, pearls, golden lilies at the altar, the scarlet lions leaping on their bosoms, pale royal hands fingering the crackling psalter. Henry is thinking of his lute and of backgammon. Elizabeth follows the waving song, the mystery, proud in her red wig and green jewelled favours. They sit on their white lawn sleeves, as cool as history. The seasons in North Cornwall. Oh, spring has set off her green fuses down by the Tamer today, and careless like tide marks the hedges are bursting with almond and may. Here lie I, waiting for old summer, a red face and straw-coloured hair has he. I shall meet him on the road from Marazion and the Mediterranean Sea. September has flung a spray of rooks on the sea chart of the sky. The tall ship masts crack in the forest and the banners of autumn fly. My room is a bright glass cabin, all Fort Cornwall thunders at my door, and the white ships of winter lie in the sea roads of the moor. Keats at Teignmouth, spring 1818. By the wild sea wall I wandered, blinded by the salting sun, while the sulky channel thundered like an old Trafalgar gun. And I watched the gaudy river under trees of lemon green, coiling like a scarlet bugle through the valley of the Tame. When spring fired her fusilados, salt spray, sea spray on the sill, when the budding scarf of April ravelled on the Devon hill, then I saw the crystal poet leaning on an old sea rail. In his breast lay Death the lover, in his head the nightingale. Those were taken from poets of our time, a school anthology published about 50 years ago, and it does contain some of his best poems, but you have to look for Penguin Modern Poets to find some which are omitted from there. This is a ballad of Catherine of Aragon, Queen of England, 1509-33, buried at Peterborough Cathedral. As I walked down by the river, down by the frozen fen, I saw the grey cathedral with the eyes of a child of 10. Oh, the railway arch is smoky as the Flying Scot goes by, and but for the Education Act go jump across an eye. But war is a bitter bugle that all must learn to blow, and it didn't take long to stop the song in the dirty Italian snow. Oh, war is a casual mistress and the world is a double bed. She has a few charms in a mechanised arm, but you wake up and find yourself dead. The olive tree in winter casts her banner down, and the priest in white and scarlet comes up from the muddy town. Oh, nevermore will Jumper watch the flying Scot go by. His funeral knell was a 6-inch shell singing across the sky. The Queen of Castile has a daughter who won't come home again. She lies in the grey cathedral under the arms of Spain. Oh, the Queen of Castile has a daughter torn out by the roots, her lovely breast in a cold stone chest under the farmer's boots. Now I like a Spanish party, and many, oh many the day, I watched them swim as the night came dim in Algeciras Bay. Oh, the high Sierra was thunder, and the 7-branch river of Spain came down to the sea to plunder the heart of the sailor again. Oh, shall I leap in the river and knock upon paradise door for a gunner of 27.5 and a queen of 24? From the almond tree by the river I watch the sky with a groan, for Jumper and Kate are always out late, and I lie here alone. Loneliness was always a theme of Causley's work. It has been said after his death he was a gay. Whether he was or whether he just chose to live alone, nobody knows, or if they do, presumably, they by now are long dead. Abel Seaman Hodge remembers Ceylon. Oh, the blackthorn and the wild cherry and the owl in the rotting oak tree, a part of the Cornish landscape, which is more than can be said for me. Oh, the drum and the coconut fiddle and the taste of Arabian tea, the Vimto on the veranda and the Arak shops on the quay. I wish I'd never heard of Candy or the song in the white flower tree. There's 1,000 loafing matelots in the old bay ship, and I wish that one of them was me. Oh, the pineapple salads of Colombo, the wine bar at Trincomalee, my bonny lies over the ocean, the brilliant Arabian Sea. The life of the poet. Lock the door, schoolmaster, keep the children in. The river in spate at the schoolyard gate roars like original sin. Watch your thermometer, sister, the patient refuses to die. The dizzy germ and the raving sperm can't keep his powder dry. Strike the drum, bandmaster, under the rig of the moon. The girls come whirling their veils unfurling, but what has become of the tune? Answer the door, squire, your manners are on the table. There's a job to be done with a humane gun if the horse is still in the stable. Draw your revolver, banker, shoot him down like a dole. You may gird his loins with nickel coins, but where's his immortal soul? Open the book, parson, see whom you will save. They say you're as kind as an open mind or an open grave. Fall out, Gabriel, you might as well hit the day. Your visitor wears the spinning airs and won't be around today. There is a certain similarity with all his poems. He did occasionally go into the social, into the sense of being a teacher, and this comes out in Timothy Winters. Timothy Winters comes to school with eyes as wide as a football pool, ears like bombs and teeth like splinters. A blitz of a boy is Timothy Winters. His belly is white, his neck is dark, his hair is an exclamation mark. His clothes are enough to scare a crow, and through his breeches the blue winds blow. When teacher talks he won't hear a word, and he shoots down dead the arithmetic bird. He licks the pattern off his plate, and he's not even heard of the welfare state. Timothy Winters has bloody feet, and he lives in a house on Suez Street. He sleeps in a sack on the kitchen floor, and they say there aren't boys like him any more. Old man Winters likes his beer, and his missus ran off with a bombardier. Grandma sits in the grate with a gin, and Timothy's dosed with an aspirin. The welfare worker lies awake, but the law's as tricky as a 10-foot snake. So Timothy Winters drinks his cup and slowly goes on growing up. At morning prayers the master helves for children less fortunate than ourselves, and the loudest response in the room is when Timothy Winters roars, Amen. So come on angel, come on 10. Timothy Winters says Amen, 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 amen. Timothy Winters, Lord. Amen. I think that's a fitting poem to end my readings from Charles Causley. It's very sad that his work is no longer read, and it doesn't seem to be included in very many anthologies, sadly. But I do think he had that absolutely original voice, which is the mark of a true poet. And at 71, 50 years later, I still go back to his poems and read them, and hopefully I will for the rest of my life, and hopefully a few people might decide, after hearing his poems, that they are worth looking at for the first time or looking at again.